The other day, I got asked to write a quick bio, just a short paragraph about how I wound up in the roles that I currently hold. I'm the lead minister out at Westmo Lutheran in Brandon, and I also work on staff with the Calvary Partner Network. Those of you that know me know that my journey into ministry wasn't a straightforward one. I have spent the last 15 years in different professions for different reasons, most recently in nursing. I remember starting nursing school, that first day going around introducing ourselves to our classmates. The question came up, when did you know you wanted to be a nurse and why? If I'm honest, at that point I still didn't know I wanted to be a nurse, but the why was to support my family. I was tired of working a full-time job during the week and then having to supplement my income as a waitress or cleaning houses or nannying or preschool ministry. At one point, I held 5 part-time jobs just to make ends meet. So that was my plan, to become a nurse and secure an income that would give me a little bit more breathing room. Fast forward to last year at this time, I found myself worshiping with Calvary as usual, and Pastor Hans started talking about the partner network and how there was a need at this lovely little church west of town. I can't tell you why, but I knew in my heart that he was talking to me. Who says God doesn't have a sense of humor? For about a year, I found myself working tirelessly once again, nursing and leading and all the things. It was an uphill climb into nursing, but felt like a skydiving free fall into ministry. And if you would have asked me 2 years ago that I would have been where I am now, I would have laughed out loud. And I think there's something to be said about that. I seem to make plans for my life just to be suddenly reminded once again that I'm not actually in control. And it kind of takes me aback. You see, it's human nature to desire clarity, to yearn for a roadmap that leads directly to our desired or expected destination. Yet God often conceals details of our future, not to keep us in the dark, but to invite us into a deeper trust relationship with Him. In the waiting, we learn that faith is not about seeing every step, but about taking those steps with confidence, guided by the one who sees the full picture. In those waiting rooms, where the echoes of our expectations seem to reverberate endlessly, I find solace in the reminder that we are unable to see the end result. It's in these periods of waiting that our faith is tested and refined as we grapple with the unknown and the unseen and the yet-to-be revealed plans. God gave us this day, and tomorrow isn't promised. Our focus shouldn't be on what is to come, but what we are given now. There is still work to be done in the waiting. I think sometimes we treat waiting as an unnecessary evil, as something we have to get through to get to where we're going. And how beautifully paradoxical is the nature of faith. It thrives in the unseen and in the gaps between our present circumstances and the fulfillment of God's promises. As we wait, unable to see the end result, we should find comfort in the assurance that God sees the entirety of our journey. I just recently gave my first Christmas Eve sermon, and the basis of the message was the unshakable faith that Mary must have had. We retell the Christmas story with excitement because we know the end result. But Mary, she had no idea how it was all going to turn out. She just had to trust that God's promises would come true. And likewise, in our waiting, we're called to trust that God is at work, even when we can't discern His hand. His plans are meticulously woven together, and though we may be unable to see the finished product, each thread represents a step in His divine design for our lives. In the waiting, let us not be disheartened by the obscured view of our destination, and instead focus on the journey, the lessons, the growth that can occur in the unseen space. God isn't silent in this waiting. He's shaping us and molding us and preparing us for the fulfillment of His promise. As we navigate the uncertain terrain of waiting, let our prayer be one of surrender. Surrender our need for control, our impatience, our desire for immediate clarity, and embrace the mystery of the unseen, knowing that His timing is perfect and His ways are higher than ours. Now, I can't say for certain that I would have ever reached out to Pastor Hans about that lead minister role at West Mo if I had known at the time that it would eventually snowball into a role that would take me away from nursing. I worked so hard to become an RN, and there were so many people that made sacrifices while supporting me through school. If I would have been able to see more clearly into my future, I would have been hesitant. And that's the key. I put a lot of heart into my role at West Mo and discovered my passion for growing the mission that Calvary's ministry is founded on. I learned that trusting God isn't always easy, especially paired with our inability to see the end result. We must accept the invitation to walk by faith and not by sight, and also to find joy in the journey as we entrust our unknown future into the hand of our God. You never know where He might take you.